has been on the bats here now for about 20 minutes or so, and it's ready to go. And one advantage of putting it on thin is that it will be more consistently dry throughout. In other words, I'm not going to have a big puddle in the center. This actually won't even need flipped. If I just start at one end, lift it off, and then fold it over and just roll it up. If you still have some on there, you just roll it, it'll clean off your bat. This is the fourth generation of this recipe. I've been refining it as I go, and actually the only thing I'm not sure of at this point is the amount of water that goes into it. Although that will vary, of course, depending on the dryness of your ingredients, I like to have a pretty good ballpark and be, as accurate as I can, so things are more consistent. A couple of things I want to mention about this. This is a stoneware clay. It's kind of a combination of the work of several other people, out of books and off the internet. And the first time I did it, I pretty much followed someone else's formula. But there's a big problem with that, and the reason I'm telling you this is because I don't want you to make the same mistake. I'm using my own dug clay, my local clay that I dug and processed, and that is going to be different than even clay from another side of a hill, a different mountain or whatever. It's all going to be different. It requires a lot of experimentation. Start off by following someone's formula if you like. All you really need is to have a good understanding of what each ingredient in the clay formula does. So when you go and you test your clay to see how much shrinkage, how absorbent it is, the porosity, of course the firing temperature is a big thing. You know how to adapt the formula to the ingredients you're using. These ingredients can change, even like if you're buying, all my other ingredients I'm buying, and it can change from bag to bag. It could be a different lot from a different part of the mine. Like clay thrower, one of my favorite videos on YouTube about clay, about processing clay and making your own clay. The more ingredients you have, the less likelihood that a change of one or even a totally different substitute is going to have on the end result. And just like making a bigger batch, if you make a bigger batch, one ingredient maybe weighed a little bit off or a little bit different chemicals in it is not going to make a huge difference in the end result. I'm using this basic formula to make my, it's like a cone 5 to cone 7. The pulp that I'm using for my paper clay, or my fiber clay that I'm making, insulation that they blow into houses. That's why you have the mask. It does have a chemical in it to make it fire retardant and to stop mold. So for that reason, two things. I don't make my paper clay in really large quantities for the purpose of aging the clay, because it's not going to age because of the chemicals that are in it. The other thing is a safety issue, okay? I have no idea and haven't even read anybody suggesting it, but surely those chemicals in there that are designed to retard fire and mold can't be good for you when you burn them off in the kiln. I run my fan constantly when I'm firing this my paper clay for that very reason. Even when I'm firing my regular clay, because of the chemicals that are in it, and glazes, of course, I run my exhaust fan. My stoneware paper clay, it'll be in the orange bucket, and my regular stoneware in the white bucket. I'm adding just a portion of the water that I need for the whole mix. just some in the bottom. But I'm using hot water for the paper clay. Helps the pulp break down a little bit faster. After about 10 or 15 minutes, this final mix now, this is ready to go. And you can see it's a lot thicker than you would normally make slip. If you find a couple pieces of cloth in there or some type of foreign material at the very end, you can run it through a coarse sieve. You wouldn't want to find something in there while you're working on the wheel. And it just takes a few minutes to run it through. By the way, this is a rather small batch for me. This is this clay is in the final stages of testing. I try to just change one component at a time until I get the clay that I want.